Good morning. My name is Mohsinullah, and today I will be acting as a supply relationship manager for the Airbus company to ensure timely deliveries and high quality products. So, moving on with the introduction of the Airbus. Airbus is world renowned company and one of the largest aircraft manufacturing company which manufacture aircraft for commercial and defense purposes as well. They also manufacture satellites. The Airbus they do not only manufacture but they design and deliver their product to the end customers. They one of the renowned and most famous products are the A300 series, A320, A350, and the iconic the largest aircraft in the world, the A380, largest passenger aircraft. So according to the 2025 data, they delivered 793 commercial aircraft and they had a gross order of 1,000, while the backlog was 8,754. From this, we can see the substantial demand in the aircraft manufacturing. Other than that, we can also analyze the importance of suppliers. So they need to they need to um, deliver the parts on the right time to ensure the manufacturing of the aircrafts is not disturbed due to the late deliveries. They had a revenue of 73.4 billion euros. Moving toward the procurement needs of the Airbus. So Airbus had two types of procurement needs, the direct and indirect procurement needs. For their direct procurement needs, these are the components and parts used to manufacture the aircraft, which is the aircraft engines, wings and fuselage sections, avionics, landing gears, cabin interiors, aluminium, titanium and composite materials, while the indirect procurement needs are the logistics, transport, engineering, support, IT, and cybersecurity services. So basically, these are required to support the main primary functions to manufacture the aircraft. Moving toward the suppliers of the Airbus. So Airbus is sourcing the engines like Trent XWB for A350 and LEAP 1A for A320 new family from the Rolls-Royce CFM International Pratt& and Whitney, while the main landing gears and the nose landing gear they are procuring from the Safran landing system and Liber Aerospace, while the aerostructure structural sections and approved structural supply they have been getting from the Airbus Atlantic, Spirit Aerosystem and Short Brothers, while the other aluminium alloy production materials and the cabin system and interiors they are getting from the Gallons Aerospace and Recaro aircraft. So now moving toward the Airbus value chain. So it basically shows the main core functions of the Airbus and the supporting activities for that. So the inbound logistics in this is the stage where Airbus procure its supplies, components and parts from all over the world. Then in the operation, they assemble those parts to manufacture the aircraft, and it goes through various testing to ensure that the aircraft is safe to fly. While in the outbound logistics, when the aircraft is ready to use, then this aircraft is being delivered to the customer. While in the marketing and sales, they do continuous marketing in order to inform their customers about their new offering or new technology, and the service department give their services to the after sales. So if the aircraft which they sold to the customer it needs a change in parts or need a services, so Airbus will be giving them their expertise as well. And the supporting activities are the procurement, technology development, HR and firm infrastructure. So basically these are the supporting activities to make sure that the main core function is running smoothly. The importance of supply relationship in aerospace is it's really important, as we know that the Airbus is heavily dependent on its suppliers and 80% of its components come from the suppliers. So we need to make sure that the supplier is delivering the product on the right time. Secondly, the components on the parts which are being used to manufacture the aircraft should be certified and safe. There should be very low defect rates. Other than that, the supplier should be innovative, because in this kind of because in this industry the supplier should be innovative and they should be regularly working on new technology to make parts more sustainable and more beneficial for the aircraft users to ensure that it uses less fuel and is more environmentally friendly. So moving toward the supplier selection. So yes, Airbus have different selection criteria for the supplier selection, which includes cost. Obviously, should have competitive pricing. Quality should be aerospace grade quality because uh, high defect rates or low quality is not acceptable in the aerospace industry because it can have a very huge consequences for the company if something goes wrong. And yeah, so the delivery reliability is also really important. If the suppliers need to be deliver the products on the right time, or otherwise the delivery of the aircraft would be delayed. Other than that, innovation and technical capability is also really important because the suppliers need to have the technical capacity and the advanced technology to manufacture those parts, or otherwise it would be really difficult for them to deliver the parts on time. Other than that, the innovation is also really important as we are in this kind of industry. It's important to have always hands on the updated technology and technology and updated technology to make sure that you are delivering the highly advanced products parts to the Airbus, so they can have a competitive edge over the competitors. So other than that, financial stability is also really important. The suppliers need to be financially stable, or otherwise they won't be able to supply those parts to the Airbus on time. So lowest price is not enough in aerospace. Airbus needs suppliers that are safe, certified, and financially stable as well. Moving toward the Kralji's matrix. So basically, Kralji's matrix identify our suppliers and divide them in four quadrants according to their importance. So for the strategic suppliers, as they are our core suppliers because they have high purchase impact and high supply risk, and these are the suppliers which we are supplying us the engines, avionics, landing gears, and the aerostructures. So these are our core suppliers which we need to focus on a lot. While for the leverage supplier, these suppliers have low supply risk but high purchase impact. So yes, for these suppliers we have options available in the market, so we can use competitive tendering and price benchmarking to get best value out of it. While for the bottleneck suppliers, these suppliers are a bit tricky one because they have a low purchasing financial impact, but the supply risk is high. So it means that it would be difficult to find alternate suppliers for those suppliers, so we need to have keep safety stock for them and develop backup supplier in the meantime. While the routine suppliers are those suppliers which give us the office supplies and basic consumables which are non-critical and have low supply risk and low financial impact as well. So we shouldn't be spending much time on these suppliers, and instead we should be using e-procurement and automatic catalog buying. Moving toward the relationship approaches, so as now we have identified the different categories supplier strategies categories of the different suppliers, so accordingly to that we will be going for the relationship style for each categories of supplier according to their importance. So for the strategic supplier, as we know they are the core suppliers of the Airbus, we will be going with a collaborative partnership risk sharing. So yes, to ensure that we are getting the best product and at the right time, because now they also have the skin in this. While the joint we should be going with the joint planning long-term contracts. While for the bottleneck supply we should be going for the risk control relationship, as we know that these suppliers are really difficult to find as an alternate, so we should be keeping safety stock monitoring and backup supply development. While for the leverage suppliers we should be going for the competitive relationship, as we know that these suppliers are easily available in the market and we have options, so we can to in order to get best value out of the contract we should be going for the cost negotiation, benchmarking, and tendering. While for the routine suppliers We should be going with the transactional relationship, as they are not that they have not that high impact financially on the Airbus, so we should be going for the automation, standard contracts, and the e-catalogs. Moving toward the risk management, so yes, these are some of the risks associated with the supply chain of the Airbus, and these risks should be mitigated. We should have mitigation for these risks in order to uh, be on the safe side. So supply disruption, yes, if supply disruption occur from the supplier side, then it will be a big mess for the Airbus, because it would halt the whole operation of manufacturing the aircraft, and at the end of the day the customer would be getting their delivery late, so it will have a financial impact on the company as well. So mitigation could be that we can use dual sourcing, we can use alternate suppliers, safeties, we can keep safety stock for those components. So in case if something happens like that, we can use this safety stock to ensure smooth running of the operation. While the financial risk is also really important, because if our supplier is not financially stable, then he won't be able to provide those parts of the Airbus on time, and again it will have impact on the delivery of the aircraft. So we need to make sure that we do financial health checks. While for the quality risk, it's really important, because in the aviation industry, the parts which are being used in the aircraft should be certified and should go through rigorous testing before using in the aircraft. So for that we need to make the supplier audits and quality scorecards as well. While for the compliance risk, the compliance risk are the labor or the export control issues, so it can have a really bad impact on the Airbus reputation and image if something unethical is being if unethical practices is being used by the suppliers of the Airbus. So for that the supplier code of conduct and the audits are being used, because because the suppliers of Airbus, they have to follow the supplier code of conduct. While the Mandelo matrix, it basically tells us about the power of us over the suppliers, and also the supplier power over us. So if we look toward the high power and high interest quadrant, so these are the suppliers like the Rolls-Royce and Safran, from which we are getting our landing gears and engine, because they are the critical and core suppliers of the Airbus, so we need to manage them closely. While the high power and low interest are the Spirit Aerospace, they basically provide us the fuselage section, and they are our sole supplier, so they have high power over us, so we need to make them keep satisfied. While for the low power and high interest, these are the suppliers which supply us with the cabin interior things and the standard composites. So these suppliers, they basically rely high on us, so we have high power over them. While the monetary minimum effect of the low power low interest suppliers, from which we are getting the daily usage supplies like the IT and office supplies, stationery and things like that, so we need to make minimum effort on them. Moving toward the contracting approaches, so as we now have identified different supplier categories, so we need to go with the right contract type with each of the supplier category according to their importance. So strategic supplier, as we know that they are the most critical and most important suppliers to the Airbus. So for them we will be going with the long-term framework agreement. We will be doing sharing our goals and objectives, and also partnering up with them to share our risk as well, to make sure that they deliver the parts on time and with high quality. While the bottleneck suppliers, as we know, they are hard to replace. So we will be going with the flexible supply agreement as it create planning for both sides. Supplier can better production. Supplier can basically plan better production as the cooperation is guaranteed by the company as Airbus. So the customer has guaranteed availability as well as for the for me as a Airbus. Both parties are happy in this because we will be getting on time delivery and the supplier will be getting information about the production planning and the required demand, while for the leverage suppliers we should be going with the fixed term contract because it predetermine the amount buyer will be paying to the supplier for the full scope of work, and it basically puts the most financial risk on the supplier side and who must now deliver on the agreed budget. So other than the routine supply, we should be going with the standard contract, while the innovation and digital suppliers should be managed with the joint development agreement and data sharing contract. So now moving toward the long-term supply development. So moving joint business planning with strategic suppliers, shared demand forecast and capacity plans, and early supplier involvement in aircraft design. So basically, when we are sharing our demand forecast and capacity plans, and we involve the suppliers in early aircraft design, it helps the company in a way that the suppliers also know how much part they would be needing to supply to the Airbus. Other than that, when we involve them in early aircraft design, they also then are aware that what type of parts now they will be needing to deliver to the Airbus, so they are on the same page with the company. Quality improvement workshops help the both parties to understand the new technology, while the supply training and technical support is also really essential because when there are changes in the design of the aircraft, the parts also need to be redesigned. So for that, the supply training is really crucial so that they can deliver the parts on time with the right technical capabilities. So joint innovation projects are also really important so they can work toward the same goal by by making such technology or by making such parts more efficient to make sure that it has a good impact on overall the delivery of the aircraft or the sustainability improvement program, digital collaboration and data sharing. These are already important factor to make sure that the Airbus company is not only looking toward the profit but also it's looking toward the overall green environment and sustainability of the parts or the aircraft. And digital data sharing and regular supplier review, it basically makes it more transparent between supplier and the company, so the information flow is smooth and the operations can go more smoothly with timely deliveries because the information flow is good, then the parts and the confusions about the new technology and the parts is also low, so it means that the delivery will be mostly on time with low defect rates. While moving toward the supplier performance card, so basically through here we can monitor the performance of each supplier by using different KPIs, and like for example for the delivery we can use on time delivery and lead time performance to make sure that the suppliers they have delivered on time, while for the quality we can check the defect rates of each suppliers, while for the cost and for the innovation we can check how many improvement ideas or co-development projects can come through from their side. While moving towards the final recommendations, so Airbus needs to adopt a segmented supply relationship management strategy. Suppliers that can create a bottleneck should be managed by risk monitoring, safety stock, and by developing additional suppliers. While for the leverage suppliers, it needs to be managed using competitive tender and cost benchmark to get the best value out of those suppliers, while the existing suppliers should be automated and standardized. The activities within the supply relationship should generate value over the long term based on the reliability, quality, innovation, and resilience. Thank you so much.